Baby, let's go! It's time! Cincinnati, we gon' rise and up. In the jungle, we unite and up. Trippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Single bottle, never stop it. So the feastin' on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes.
Welcome to Bougie Bitches and Bengals. I am your host, Dale Altman, joined by some other fine characters here in Pork Chop, Greg Luther, and the Iceman, Jeff Trinipool. What's up, guys?
What up?
What's going on? I have no idea what is up, man. I just woke up.
Hey,
you have to fill me in.
Dale, we're going streaking! 2-0! We're
Red
streaking!
one, 2 in a row. Greg, for fuck's sakes,
Keep your
can't
shirt
ever
on.
stay on script here.
Keep your shirt on, Greg.
Got a whole script, Greg says. Nope, we're talking this, you're talking that. This motherfucker just does whatever he wants. He's fucking gone rogue again.
Big savage, man. What do you expect?
What do you expect? Nah.
Did you even go to work, Greg, or you stay home and watch the Reds?
No, I went to work. I got a life to live, Dale.
Well, you seem to be talking Reds all day long.
He's got 7 weeks vacation. He probably took a half a day
I was
off.
cutting grass today, Dale, and there was a bunch of dead birds all around. I don't know if this was a sign or not.
He killed them all.
I did not kill any birds.
It's either that or he's talking about Corey Dillon's interview.
Yeah, he hasn't stopped talking about that. Just for everyone. As soon as I got on here, he's like, that interview was really awesome. I'm like, I know you've texted me that like 15 times.
Yeah, you
I
know,
haven't responded because
responded.
I know
You were
because
the
you
worst
keep saying
ever.
the same thing.
You were the worst at responding, you jerk.
Well, what am I supposed to say? Okay, cool, Greg. I already said that like the first time, and then you kept doing it.
Dale, did you know that Corey Dillon interview was awesome?
Yeah, it was
you know
awesome.
I think Greg enjoyed it. It's what he's told me.
It was more better than almost interviewing, knowing that thinking about
It was more
interviewing
better.
Yogi Bosch.
Oh god.
Well, never getting Yosebosh now. You said, huh? It don't even matter.
No, I'm just kidding.
Corey Dillon's my one true love, he says. But anyways, so Ring of Honor news this morning. Greg also wanted to talk about that, so we got to do what Greg says.
This
Yeah,
is
right.
Greg's show.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll start with you, Chop, to make Greg wait, because, at least he can wait. What are your thoughts on the two nominees being your man? You're blocked by both of them, but your guys, Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, and Boomer says.
That was the Ring of Honor this year. You qualified if you get voted in if I'm blocked on Twitter by it.
I didn't
The
realize.
only two
I
people
didn't know
that
you're blocked by both of them.
The only two Bengals that have blocked me, man, are in the Ring of Honor this year.
Oh god,
On
sorry.
Twitter.
That's funny.
My
Corey
boy
Dillon's
Chad,
blocking you right now because he wants
I
it
know.
next year.
I know.
So your ass is getting blocked
He's
today by
next.
Corey Dillon.
probably Corey Dillon probably going to block me. That way he can. That's
You
what
actually
get,
deserve
Corey.
to be blocked by Corey Dillon. That's the thing. Like, you've been
If
talking
you
a
go
lot
back
of shit
and watch a
about
couple
him.
of these shows, I might get blocked anyway. But yeah, my reaction to who got into the Ring of Honor is no surprise to me because it's a popularity contest. So, of course, if you're going to ask the season ticket holders right now, because there's a bunch of new season ticket holders, man, and
Oh god.
so they don't remember Lamar Parrish. Everybody agrees he should have got in, maybe Boomer next year. But it didn't surprise me at all. I knew Chad Johnson was going to get in. If it was one person, he was going to win.
Yeah, he's just too popular.
Yeah, he's too popular. So they got him out of the way so they can start putting other people in next year. But Boomer's not a surprise to me. I kind of wish they would have went with an old guy and get him in there, but I am not surprised at all that blocking Boomer that got into the Ring of Honor. And hey, he did a good job, man. He was a good quarterback for the Bengals.
Hey, I shot a shot just trying to get him on the show on Twitter. I tagged him and I said, hey, we could offer you like a can titty guy tee.
Right?
If that doesn't entice him, I don't know what will.
And you can
Right.
talk to Pork Chop who you blocked.
Right.
I'll probably keep Pork Chop off that shit.
I will talk to him. I know why I got blocked with Boomer. I have no idea why I got blocked with Chad, but I know what happened with Boomer. And if he was on here, man, I would fucking chop it up with him about it. I'd tell him exactly what happened and see what he says.
What happened?
And I will
He's
I
a
will say
fucking goddamn bandwagon motherfucker. That's what happened.
I will say with Boomer that he won an MVP here while he was on the Bengals. So that means you were recognized as the best player in the NFL that year. We know it's basically a quarterback award, but that's the recognition. That's what comes with it. Most valuable player for that season. So that's a huge award. So obviously, anytime you can win an award like that in your career, that's going to be a guy that's going to eventually get in the Ring of Honor. I was kind of with you. I was kind of Parrish, was my guy. And then even like guys like Trumpy and Lapham who are in their, 70s as well, along with Parrish. That the reason I wanted them in. And Boomer even said it. I listened to a little bit of him talking to the media, and he said, he even mentioned Corey Dillon and how he's, been a little upset and saying he should be in. He said, listen, some of these guys should have been in 20 years ago. A lot of these people should have been in 20 years ago or longer. He said they're playing catch up with this where it's around now. So it is what it is in that sense, so you might not get in when you want, but to me, I still wish we would have got some of the older guys in, but
yes,
I can't be mad that two phenomenal players that even during my lifetime has been well-known, awesome Bengals. And Chad, geez, man, I'm sure Greg will speak on this a little more, but Greg's a couple years younger than me, but it's same era kind of growing up and really, really developing your love for the Bengals. You've got this maniac out here doing river dances, putting the freaking thing, just doing it, proposing to cheerleaders, and he's backing it up on the field. Like, let's not just act like he did the insane stuff that was fun. Yeah. His stats, he was one of the best receivers in the NFL year after year for several years. I mean, if he wasn't number one, he was in the top three several of those years. His route running was incredible. He could get downfield. He could run routes on you. And he talked to shit all at the same time and made the game fun, which is awesome. So Chad 100% deserves to be in. Boomer deserves to be in. There's no knock on those guys. It's just kind of wish some of the older guys would have got in. It's my thoughts, which are similar to yours, Chop. So I'll let Greg go because Lord knows how hard he is about this.
Child, please.
Child, please, indeed, or kiss the baby, and all that above. Dale, you put the words in my mouth. I mean, I'll start with Chad. Chad, I mean, I was a Bengals fan in '98. My first favorite player was some guy me and Strawberry interviewed a couple days ago. I forget the guy's name. I think.
I don't know.
Greg, don't stand up, man. We don't want to see that boner again.
That's okay. But when Chad came, I mean, he just
I said what's up, I should have said Greg's dick.
Right.
No shit.
when Chad came, he just changed football in Cincinnati, man. He made football, the Bengals, fun to watch. I mean, like he said in the interview, the Bengals never told me to change. They told me to be myself. I thought that was awesome. Another cool story is when he spent 2 years inside the stadium, and then Marvin comes and says, Chad, you got to grow up, be a man. You got to get your own place. I thought that was pretty funny, but it was just so cool. Chad, it's just so cool that he's probably like the huge ambassador now for the Bengals, saying how much fun they are. I mean, that's another cool thing. And Boomer, I've never really had the pleasure of watching Boomer. First year I watched the Bengals is when we had Neil O'Donnell as our quarterback, and Lord knows that was a shit show. And so, but Boomer, though, again, long overdue. But like what you said, Dale, I mean, I could have sworn it would have been Lamar Parrish and some of these other guys. And, I hope it's that way next year. It has to be two older guys next year. I'm sorry.
Buddy, next year is going to be a really tough discussion. And what if they start to add people next year? That's what I'm afraid of.
Well, I mean, I
hope they don't. I'm going to be honest.
If you got Geno Atkins added for next year,
I know it's coming in the next couple of years, but I just think if that happens, it's going like those guys. You mean? I'm afraid they'll get in right away.
Do you mean add people to the list or add people we can vote on?
To
the list.
Oh yeah, they're going to add people to the list.
No,
that's why they have to add people we can vote on. There's
I know they're eventually going to have to, but right now I think there's still so many deserving guys.
Right.
Well,
they're going to do two again next year. That's just a fact.
Yeah. But if you you just said, if Geno Atkins gets added to the list, Geno Atkins should be in the Hall of Fame immediately. I mean,
it's going to be so hard, or Whitworth, it's going to be so hard not to vote those guys into the Ring of Honor if they put them on that list.
That's why I think Lamar should have got in this year. That's what I'm worried about.
I'm scared of here.
No.
Yeah. I was little when Lamar played. I didn't really watch Lamar play. I did watch Boomer, and I obviously did watch Chad. But Lamar, he was got more Pro Bowls and All Pros than Ken Riley did, and a lot of people say that a lot of the interceptions that Ken Riley got was because they didn't want to throw over to Lamar. I mean, that's where
And as a returner, dude, he is one of the best returners in the game.
Yeah, he has like one of the at one time he had the most yardage I think for returns as far as interceptions go. I think too because he get the interceptions and he damn near run it to tickets to the house. Yeah. So I mean that's where I had the Chad Boomer. There's no wrong answer. No, I'm just concerned. I don't want these guys to not be here when they get the honor finally. That's the thing with the.
It's that and the older guys starting. And the older guys starting to get passed over is now my fear if they start to add people because once again, Chad was so popular. There's no way he's going to keep getting passed up. Boomer is popular enough, still on TV. There's no way he was going to keep getting passed over year after year. Yeah. That's why I was like, can we slide at least Lamar? And to me, they just need to go ahead and put where Dave Lapham's in as an overall. Yeah, he should have kind of got like the Paul Brown treatment.
Yes,
to where he just was in because he's Mr. Bengal. Like,
yes, he is.
It's not just how long he was here on the field, but now he's been doing the radio stuff for almost 40 years or something crazy like that.
Like
that's insane.
87 he started doing it.
That alone, like, dude, you deserve it, and everyone respects you on that level. Now, I don't even think he should be part of the ballot. He should just go in. Have 3 next year. I don't know. Who can I freaking say that to? Who can we all say that to? Because to me, if you guys agree with me, I think he 100% deserves to get in, and then let us vote 2 more.
Yes.
I'm surprised to be honest, though, he's one of the surprises that didn't get in this year because he's so popular and he's the voice of the Bengals.
Let me ask you this. Should Dan Hort ever get considered in the future as a radio guy or no?
Maybe, but it'll have to be so. And we're not even talking like Sam Weish, who probably deserves to be up there.
It's another guy.
There's so many.
Marvin Lewis is going to be on that list eventually too.
Yeah.
He's still the winningest coach in Bengals history.
He changed the culture here a lot. So
obviously
he did. He started the turnaround.
Well, Greg? What are you gonna?
Obviously, this will never happen in quite some time. I mean, can we agree? Zach Taylor will. That's way in the future, though. Zach Taylor will eventually get added.
Greg, why the hell would you even bring something like that up? That's still the current damn coach.
Yeah,
just saying, man. You got to think future.
Not that far.
And also Miles Murphy.
Hey, will Joe Burrow be added?
Miles Murphy isn't a very good pitcher. He's got good form and good technique, but he can't control the ball.
We just had Muhammad Ahmad on, and he was telling his love for baseball. I said,
you're right. Well, he did say
about him on Baseball Diamond, and then he throws that pitch, and it's a wild pitch, man. Basically.
Muhammad did say that he quit baseball when he outgrew his mechanics. When he got too big for his mechanics and pitching.
And he proved it.
Proved it. His mechanics for pitching are garbage now.
For sure, man. So, but I would love to see Lapham get in because here's the thing. He might get voted in next year. He might. But if I had my way next year, I would say, let's get Parrish and Trumpy in. Trumpy's still the best tight end in Bengals history. From everything I've heard, from everything I've heard, I listen to other people who, saw him play or kept up on it more. That's why I say that. And when I look at the tight ends, I'm like, well, you look up the stats and things like that. I'm like, yeah, there's no real argument that there's like somebody else who stands out above him.
Well, the problem is I think there's more Bengals fans, season ticket holders that never watch these guys play. Exactly. And they just know Bob. Right. They might not even know Bob Trumpy actually played for the Bengals. They barely know him as a broadcaster. He's been, off TV.
I was about to say, and he was Boomer before Boomer, right? When it comes to the broadcast.
Yeah, because he's the godfather of sports radio here since he started sports talk back in the late 70s, early 80s. I mean, that's where I know Bob Trumpy more is from the radio. And then honestly, when I was little, that's what he did. Then my dad's the one that told me he played tight end. So I didn't even know it, till like later on because he retired before I really even was old enough to pay attention to the Bengals and know who the players were. But that's the thing here is like, that's where I wish they'd I can't remember who brought it up to me.
Like we all keep saying Ford too, because that would help.
Right. Well, somebody brought it up to me. Let the Bengals players or let the Bengals Ring of Honor guys, let them have a vote. Let them vote somebody in. I mean,
I like that.
Yeah, and I think that would be cool because it would be your peers, your teammates.
Dude, they could have a whole episode show or behind the scenes thing with them sitting around all the guys that are in.
Like I said, they're debating,
discussing who should get in this vote they're going to have.
Or even just like Bengal alumni, if you played for the Bengals, you get a vote.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be Ring of Honor. You can open up to or the guys that are on the list.
Well, they do the 100 best players on the NFL every year, where their peers vote them in.
Right.
But there's
I
just
mean,
so
that's
many
good.
guys, because you think of David Fulcher. He changed the way the safety position was played. Like, there's so many guys, everyone on that. We talked about Jim Breach and his percentage. Like, all the clutch kicks he made, all the game-winning field goals he made is like an insane amount. He would have been Super Bowl MVP had the Bengals won that Super Bowl before that, you know.
I mean, I
He's
know
still,
talking
and
about
Jim Breach still got the most points scored by a Bengal. And then he held the record.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. No, yeah. I'm not
Anyways, I don't want to spend too much time on this because we did set the show to talk about corners. So I'll quickly, if there's one last thing you guys want to mention, Ring of Honor, I'll give you that.
I got one real quick. I know we've been talking about Corey Dillon, but another running back we don't want to forget about is James Brooks.
Yes.
James Brooks deserves to go in there as well.
Yes.
So I mean, that's another guy that, you know, people might start forgetting about him. And James Brooks is one at the time before Corey Dillon, in my opinion, was the best running back in Bengals history. I mean, he was.
Yeah,
I think Corey Dillon passed him up, but James Brooks was a badass.
Yeah, not
pass catch and running, dude. He'd run your ass over.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he was phenomenal in both aspects. Right. More than like, you know, it was like everyone maybe more recent remembers Giovanni Bernard and like how good Gio was. Mm-hmm. They get like Gio on fucking steroids.
Yeah.
Like fucking like Gio with superpowers. That was
Brooks
James
didn't come
Brooks.
off the field. He could pass block and
yes.
he never came off the field.
Yeah. So I agree. Like he was an elite player that should also not be. That's why there's so many. That's why my fear is they start adding people to this list. And then some of these guys start getting overlooked.
We need at least 4.
Well, they already, when they changed that
6
last
is
year.
Too many. I think 6, that kind of takes the luster away from the individual players, you know, to get their moment. If you had 6, it's kind of like they rattle them up, you know.
Darcy wants Brooks in.
You're right.
Before Dillon, just so Corey Dillon loses shit.
Skinny says that. Richard Skinner. That's what he said. He thinks James Brooks should come in before Corey Dillon.
I don't. I don't. Just
because go with longevity and what we're just saying about Lamar Parrish. But yeah.
All right. Anybody else got a final thought, Greg?
Since Strawberry was bringing up guys, one guy we cannot ignore is Max Montoya. I mean, that's a guy I feel like that's been getting ignored too. I mean, obviously Anthony Munoz. I mean,
we could do this all day.
That's a guy I'll say, but Max Montoya, I feel like he's getting ignored sometimes too. That's the problem with this whole thing. I mean, you cannot forget about Max Montoya. I know there's way older guys than him, but we cannot forget about him either. You know,
I agree. All right, Chop, you ready to move on to current discussion?
Proceed.
Thank you, sir. All right, so corners, man. I really like, the more I look at the corners, I feel like we don't talk about them enough. And a lot of this is where we had Muhammad Ahmad on the other day. And him, along with, I seen Cheeto talking about him. I seen Dan Hoard talking about. Everybody brings this guy up without him being mentioned, and that's DJ Ivey, the 7th round pick. So we still had a couple position groups to go. Number one, and corner was one of them post draft. But like it helped me remember that when all these people just keep bringing up DJ Ivey and how good he looked in the practices so far. Now training camp, it's going to ramp up. Preseason, we'll really ramp up and see what he can do. But if DJ Ivey is a legit guy that you probably can't get to the practice squad, we're going to have a tough time. If you look at the numbers and you look at the players, in my opinion, we're going to have a very tough time narrowing this down to what they typically keep, which is 5. Max, they usually keep 6 corners. I'm going to read off, and you tell me if you think these guys are going anywhere, and then we can kind of discuss their roles, this, that, and the other. But Cheeto.
Stay.
Obviously, right? Cam Taylor-Britt, which we had a question we'll discuss about second year, and people seen him more, and will he have a dip in play? We can discuss that. Cam Taylor-Britt, starter, right? Not going
yeah. Starter.
Mike Hilton, your slot corner, starter. So there's 3. You pick DJ Turner in the 2nd round. He's not going anywhere. We don't know. We don't know his role. We can discuss that here more.
He's not going nowhere.
Sidney Jones. We brought him in. His deal isn't a huge deal, but right now he's basically slotted in to be probably the first backup at either corner spot. He's a veteran. He's played in this league for like 4 or 5 years. He's made plays in the NFL. You lost Eli Apple. You kind of, when they signed him, it was kind of like, I think that's writing on the wall for Eli Apple. Now, say whatever you want about Eli Apple. If you loved him, you hated him. He played a lot here. And when they signed Sidney Jones, and that was the writing on the wall for Eli Apple. To me, that said Sidney Jones probably a guy they liked and that they think they can get something out of as long as he stays healthy. But right now he's healthy. He was making plays in practices. So we can talk more, get in more depth if you think he stays or not. Then there's Jalen Davis, who has been the main backup to Mike Hilton in the slot corner. And he signed a 2-year deal. They didn't just say, okay, we'll give you a 1-year deal. They re-signed him for 2. So that, to me, usually says somebody they plan on keeping. Yes, no? Like, just initially?
Initially, yes. Yeah, we'll see what happens in camp, but yeah.
And then Alan George, undrafted guy last year, but we read about him making plays in camp, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to – I don't think he gets to the practice squad. He did last year. He was undrafted.
Yeah.
Then he played. Now he's making plays. I think it'd be a lot harder to get him to the practice squad, and that's going to be part of the discussion. So now we're at 7 guys, and then DJ Ivey, who I began the whole conversation with, is 8, who is balling out, looking great, and more of an outside corner as well. And DJ Turner has been more of an outside corner. That's part of this too, is who could play the slot back up Hilton if it's not going to be Davis. So but that's kind of the 8 guys. I mean, of course, I could mention Chris Lamons that we picked up from Kansas City that had those issues. I think he's still on the roster. There were some issues that if he was or wasn't. There's other guys, Marvell Tell, some players like that. But those are the main 8, in my opinion. We usually keep 5 or 6. So who wants to kick this off with their thoughts? Who gets cut? Who makes it?
Well, can I say so about players going to the practice squad with it being 1 cut this year? It seems a little easier to sneak guys on to there because they're cutting everybody. So
maybe.
And I think it was Jake Lisco. I think he said on Locked On Bengals, he had a percentage 97% of the guys that you cut make it to the practice squad. According to him, I don't know where he saw that. So not guaranteed that they'll all make it, but most of the time guys you want to get onto the practice squad do make it.
They didn't make it last year. Wasn't it Pryor? Was it last year or the year before we lost Pryor?
Kendrick Pryor, correct?
Yeah, I didn't say everybody.
Yeah.
I know, but it's a guy. It's either an undrafted guy or a 7th-round pick or something like that you think you can slide on. Other teams, there's teams out there that don't have what we have.
Right, and that's the thing. That's what we have with when you have talented players. You're not going to be able to keep everybody. It's it's going to happen. So I mean,
that's what leads to discussions like today.
Right,
who's going to make it and who's not, in your opinion, based on all the things we're hearing. Because dude, these media guys, they hear stuff too. Plus, they see it. They're there watching the practices. And DJ Ivey, like he was one initially. I thought, okay, that's a practice squad guy. He's 7th round. You could probably slide him on the practice squad. But the way they're talking about him, that throws a wrench into everything. Him and Alan George. Alan George is really good.
So, Cheeto, Juice, Hilton, right?
Yeah, we're putting them in. They're the starters, right? And
Turner.
Yeah, we know the start. It's the last 4 guy.
And Cheeto seems to be ahead of schedule. We all would agree with that, correct?
He's not going to start on the pup.
Week 1.
That's his plan. His goal is to make it to week 1. He doesn't know anything about training camp, he said, but week 1 he's planning on. That's his goal.
I don't care how much he practices. He can be over there rehabbing. Like he's like Jesse Bates.
Most of them aren't going to play in the preseason anyway.
No, just practice, baby.
Yeah. So we're talking like the last 4 guys for the probably the back end, and it's going to be a battle. I mean, honestly, today I have no idea. I mean, I'm with you. I thought Ivy was going to be a practice squad. Now they're talking about he might be, not a starter, but make the roster. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch. I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight, so it's kind of.
But it becomes how many do we keep?
Right.
So I think we have to add a 4th in, and then the discussion gets more real. But DJ Turner being a 2nd-round pick. He's not going anywhere.
No,
right,
and
right.
not only
I'm
that,
not sure how much he'll play is the thing. I think he's a guy who they would almost like to redshirt at least half the year. You know what I mean? Like kind of the Cam Taylor-Britt plan if he's ahead of schedule halfway through the year because Lou coaches him up. But I think Cam was more technically. I think Turner needs a little more work.
And some of them they might sneak him on the pup list. Some little injury or something.
It's not baseball.
They've done
Turner's
it before.
Hey, Turner's here for next year too. So they're not going to put him on the practice squad. He's here because this is Cheeto's last year on the contract.
Second round pick is not making the practice squad on there.
No.
So we can all agree, Greg, that those 4 are safe, right?
Yeah.
I think Greg's nodding off down there.
No.
By the way. So Cheeto, Cam Taylor-Britt, Mike Hilton, DJ Turner, they're safe. Now, I don't know if DJ Turner is first guy off the bench. I'll say that. We're putting him on the roster.
Right.
But like somebody on Twitter was like, I think he's the first cornerback in if somebody goes down. I don't agree with that at all.
No.
I think right now that person is Sidney Jones.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because he's a veteran.
If he makes the team.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
If you got DJ Ivey coming on as a rookie and George Allen, who's only in his second year, George Allen. You go either way, but it's George.
Both of them. I like both of them.
Yeah. It's alter ego. But so I could see if both of those guys continue to ball out in practice, Sidney Jones just gets squeezed out. And I don't think I'd have too big of a problem with that just based on he's always been injured for a lot of his career. So what do you guys think? Like brass tacks, and are they going to have to keep 6?
If you keep 6 though, what position do you take away from?
A lot of times with defensive backs, they keep 10 typically.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things to where does Uncle Mike get a spot at safety?
That's the one. He might be on the block this year. I don't know. That's
because you got Dax, Nick Scott, Jordan Battle, and Tyson Anderson at safety. I think those 4 are your top 4 locked in.
Yep.
And then Mike Thomas, who's a veteran, he's a special teams leader. He's a captain for fuck's sakes.
Yeah. But
yeah,
it could.
Aren't they?
It could be.
Aren't they?
Look at these corners that we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of putting Greg's guy in there on special teams. It's taking his spot, aren't they? Didn't he play gunner on special teams?
No.
Thomas?
Mike Thomas?
No, he's 47 years old. He don't play.
That's old as fuck, man. Them 47-year-olds, that's when it starts going downhill.
Hey, I'm 48. Shut up.
I was 47 one time.
I think this is the longest I've seen Greg quiet my entire life.
I know. I think he's falling asleep. But
He's waiting to say something.
Who says I'm falling asleep? No, I'm just letting y'all talk.
I said top 4, then Sidney and Ivy. So that's cutting Jalen Davis and who else?
So how many did they have last year? There was a 5 or 6 last year.
Can't remember off the top of my head.
I want to say 5, but I can't remember for sure.
Well, if they cut Jalen Davis, who's backing up the slot? Who could do that?
Dax Hill.
starting safety.
I mean, that's the thing is they're still going to move Dax around. I think. Yeah. So,
I didn't think he looked that good when they moved him around all the
time. Dude, Lou likes doing stuff like that. He likes dropping him into different places. I can see it. I'm not saying to do it a lot, but I can see it.
Yeah, you're alive. So you were pooping, and now you're alive. Well, that's a good update.
Congratulations, he's alive.
I could stop praying.
Must have been a good one. All right, Greg, how many are they keeping?
Well, let's think this logically here. It's very scientific. Let's go. Obviously, you got Cheeto, Turner, Jones, Britt. So we know that's 4 guys locked in. I mean, DJ Ivey, like everybody's saying, I'm like, okay, this guy will be a practice guy. I think he's for real. And I remember reading about Ivey that he started for I think almost 5 years for him because of the whole COVID thing. So he was a starter for quite some time with them. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say Ivey for, like you said, Dale, all I'm hearing. So that's 5 right there. Alan George, I know they had high hopes for last year. Jalen Davis, I know he came and performed well. That's tough. It's going to from what I'm hearing right now, I think the 2 guys should be worried neck and neck. Sounds like Alan George and Jalen Davis.
Yeah, but you already said 5. You said Cheeto, Cam, DJ, Sidney, and DJ Ivey. You didn't even mention Mike Hilton.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Look at Dustin Croft's comment.
I also love Sidney Jones is not a. I don't think he's a lock.
No.
Mike Hilton isn't going anywhere, Dustin.
Mike Hilton's not going. No. I kind of have Mike
Hilton
Hilton labeled almost as a safe, like with the other safeties sometimes.
Let's just say that happens. Who would be the slot corner then?
It's not happening.
Who would be? I'm just saying.
No,
that's kind of my point.
He's one of the best slot corners in the NFL.
Either Dax or Turner would be.
I'm not disagreeing with him. I'm not agreeing with him. I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't think Mike Hilton's going anywhere. I'm just saying if they were, who the hell would be the slot corner? That's better than Mike Hilton. I don't think we have anybody.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with me is like Jalen Davis would be like, okay, easy to get rid of, but who backs up? I'm not even saying anything about.
Uh-oh.
Thought it was me.
Stop. What'd you do?
I didn't do shit, man. I'm just
You're
chilling.
the co-host of this show. You're
I
supposed
know.
to take charge of this.
Look, I put him back.
He's back. There he is.
Chop likes to point at everybody else, but it's never his fault.
Here, I'm pointing right now. You, Greg.
Chop, you made my internet start to cut out.
I know.
It's all Chop's fault.
Why are they blaming you for my internet cutting out?
Yeah.
He's the co-host. You're supposed to fix this stuff.
Yeah.
No, I think Jalen Davis, I'm worried about who can back up Hilton. And then DJ Ivy's going to earn his spot, Alan George. I think it's a good problem to have, but at the same point in time, you don't want to lose either of those guys. They're the future. That's why I think if they can beat Sidney Jones out, I'll be happy because he's here on a one-year deal. That's kind of the difference to me where you've got Alan George Allen, whatever you want to call him.
Right.
He's here for a long time, potentially, as an undrafted guy. DJ Ivy is just a rookie, so you got him for cheap. I don't know, man.
Did DJ Turner never play the slot in Michigan?
He did some, is what that Muhammad was telling us the other day, but I don't remember it that much. I feel like he played it more outside. I mean, last year we know they had Dax Hill playing the slot a lot, before
I
think
he could do it again this year.
I didn't think he looked good doing it in the NFL. I think his most natural NFL position is that safety position. Because, I mean, he was balling out in the preseason playing for Bates last year. I just want him to focus on that. I really do. I think if he focuses on that, that's the best thing for his long-term future as well. But I'll just say, with all these guys, let's just say they all get a couple interceptions even. Sidney Jones, Ivy, Alan George, all in the preseason games. They got 2-3 interceptions. They're balling. Ball hawks. Maybe corners, everybody needs corners, right?
Yeah.
Everybody needs corner depth. It gets injured a lot. Is this a potential spot for us to make a trade?
I wouldn't go against it. I wouldn't go against it. Hey, speaking of trades, not to go off the beaten path, Mims got traded to the Lions, by the way.
Yeah, like 2 days ago, Greg.
Not 2 days ago. It just
was
now.
I seen it reported. Let me guess, it was for a 2025 pick?
I guess so, yeah. I just saw that.
Oh, how would I know if it just happened just now?
All right.
Dale is a fortune teller.
Yeah, but no, Dale, to go back to your point, I mean, look, if someone offers us, a tight end or something that we need a backup tight end like we were just discussing last show, you'd have to think about it. I wouldn't be against it. I mean, everything's got to be on the table.
I think my whole goal is every time we talk about positions is to trade somebody for a backup tight end.
Yeah.
So we're not relying on Drew Sample to be our number 2.
Hey, no, Dale, I'm on the same boat as you, bro. I'm all for it.
Every time I'm like, is there a trade?
You know who's coming back? Wilcox is coming back.
How come he's not back yet?
I don't know. I'm surprised he's not, but I almost guarantee you he's coming back.
Something's up, man.
It's another thing headed to training camp starting though, because he was injured. If he's going to, it'll be here, I'd say early in camp. If not, I'm just going to say, nah. But if he don't sign anywhere else, he's out there. So if there's an injury, boom, it's an easy sign back if he's healthy later on.
Dale, man, we got to do something, man. We got to go represent the Browns or something. Saying we need a backup type. We got to do something, man. I mean, if you want me to go up there myself, I will do it.
Shirtless.
I will do whatever.
The guy who wanted Zeke too, then they didn't listen to him. So
he still wants Zeke.
I want Zeke. Sorry, what the hell? Where have you been?
I said you. I
He's
said you
not
wanted
gotten
Zeke.
off that Zeke train.
Not wanted. I still want Zeke.
Yeah, I know. It's not happening.
And Ken's saying Turner can play in the slot, and I mean he runs a 4.26, so I don't know. I hate moving guys out of their natural spots because I think there's a good chance that next year Turner is starting and starting here for the next 5 years or longer in place of Cheeto when Cheeto leaves inevitably because we can't pay everybody.
Good.
So I don't really want to try to move him to the slot, force him in as a rookie to playing time. And corners, man, corner is a very mental game. Like if you start going downhill at corner, kind of like kicker, you know, if it starts to go downhill, you have a tough time getting back like that. But that's like the more confident you are, the better, which was something Dustin had brought up earlier about CTB. I don't think he has a drop off in year 2 because they've seen how he plays or this, that, and the other. Because he's so confident and he's naturally gifted athlete and he studies his ass off on the tape and studies players constantly. I don't see a drop off, but it's a good question. Do you guys see any drop off in play? CTB halfway through the year, maybe teams didn't expect it, played great in the playoffs.
I think
but it's the playoffs, man. Do you think anybody was sleeping on him when they were playing him in the playoffs?
No, he made that five got his interception in the Buffalo game.
They still had 7 or 8 games of tape on him, right? And it's playoff time. They were studying every bit of that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think he does nothing but gets better. I mean,
I feel the same thing. I think his sophomore year is going to be freaking awesome.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I think he was just coming along. I mean, I think the starting point for him, we can all agree, was that Browns game where we needed him badly, and he made a bunch of huge plays. So I'm all for that.
We don't need that negativity.
Miles guy, just call him Mr.
Negative. Fucking guy
never heard
takes
of him.
Shit and thinks he owns the world.
Yeah.
What's he got? 2 different accounts?
He's got like 3, man.
He'll come in here with some other fucked up name too.
Where's Tiger Lily? Tiger Lily is another one.
Oh God.
He's gonna start having conversations with himself.
Right. Yeah. In the chat.
He'll argue with himself.
He should be the new TikTok Tyler and all that. Have like 4 or 5.
He's starting his own sub show in our chat.
I will give him a link here in a little bit if he wants to go. Is he not at work? Like, does this guy?
He said let me in. I love corners.
I know, but is he at work? Like,
apparently not.
No, he's at work.
Chop, you want to send him a link? Chop don't even know how to do any of that. I got to teach you how to do these.
I'm like, I can send it to him.
Fucking indolent. Send him a link. Let's see.
All right, I'll send it to him.
You know,
you guys crap me up, and I got to send the link to Twitter for you guys all the time. Like, you just send the fucking link, and you can share it to wherever you want.
But anyways, anything else with these corners, man? I do think it's a good problem to have. We've invested in it. Our guy Anthony Anderson from Blackish. What's up? I don't want just Ted Karras' autograph. I want my guy Anthony Anderson's autograph tomorrow. I know it's not the one, guys. It's not.
So what time are you getting there tomorrow, Dale?
Well, once again, I'm planning on getting there around 2:30. Which here's the thing, honestly, I've kind of mentioned on here, whatever, you know, my roommate, Tiger Lily's coming on, but my roommate will be going with me, and I'm hoping she'll drive me home.
Yeah.
Chop will drive you home.
But either way, so if she's not ready to go when I want to leave to get there around 2:30, I'll leave without her fucking ass. The only problem is that I can't drink as much. So if that happens, I may be staying at one of your houses. So.
You could always stay at mine or Chops. You know, we live like 5 minutes from each other. So
I would recommend Jeff's. There's too many cats here.
I would
recommend Chops. You can sleep in Big Fancy.
Well, Dale, I live the closest, but you know about my sleeping situation. You have to go all the way upstairs into the hot bedroom.
Yeah, and I already said I'd shit out the window.
Okay, that's fine.
If you come over here, Dale, you can be Big Spoon.
I just want any spoon, man. I sleep alone in the bed, you know.
You got to Chop.
Because Chop gave me the advice, okay? He said, listen, don't give up the bed. No. Don't do it. You're a fellow big man. Don't give up the bed and say you'll sleep on the couch.
That's what I told my wife said, get out. And I said, fuck no. I said, I'm not getting out. I said, if you don't want to sleep by me, you get up and leave. I said, or pick me up and take me out.
Yeah.
I said, because
Josh
I
teach me
can't
the
sleep on the
ways.
couch. I'm too big. I cannot sleep on the couch.
Yeah,
I can't
I don't
sleep.
want my
That-
entire
that-
body
that night
hurting
after-
worse
that-
than it already does.
I said that night after Four Locos, she was yanking you around the yard pretty hard.
Where'd she yank me, though? She yanked me right down to my room, to my bed.
Yeah, guess what? Because that's
You
the string.
fell down
That's the
the
string.
stairs,
That's the
too.
string she's earned from sleeping on the couch. She's
I-
earned that strength.
I lay the law down here, Jeff. I'm the fucking end all. You know what I'm saying?
No, but
I call the shots.
Last night, she said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I want to sleep in the bed tonight. You need to sleep on the
No,
couch."
baby. I was just playing. It's just for the show.
Uh-oh.
I love you, too. All right. I'll be done in a minute. I call the shots.
Oh.
She was doing laundry.
Oh.
Thank God I work tonight, man.
Yeah.
So how are we doing? Walked into a mess.
Oh no.
What's up, Tiger Lily?
Anyways, she wanted me to sleep on the couch last night. See,
Mm-mm.
and I was like, "No." Come to
Too
find out,
big.
the dog had piss on the couch. She was gonna let me sleep in dog piss.
You're gonna kill Jeff.
Even worse.
What the fuck is going on down there with Jeff?
I have no idea.
Pauly Shore in his living room?
He's got his spitter, so
Yes, he does.
still got that going for him.
He is a spitter.
I'll hit this just since Anthony missed out, but you guys can check
You guys are
the
cracking
show
me
back
up.
out at any other time. We talked about this to begin the show, so I won't spend too much time on it. But
Oh, by the way, I met Anthony. Just letting you know.
I know, and he's going to
Yeah.
be there tomorrow, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to meeting him. And he's probably
Cool
going to like
dude.
me a lot more than you, like most people do. It's just it's how it goes. No offense. But anyways, so we can get Santori's opinion or Tiger Lily's opinion. But I thought I wanted some of the older guys in, but all the guys deserve it. And Chad and Boomer are more in my lifetime. That's kind of my thoughts. What are your thoughts, Tiger Lily?
I understand because I listened to what you guys were saying and I agree. It's a popularity contest, and I agree with what Boomer's saying. It's just backlogged right now. There's not really a wrong answer. Some people are going to have to wait. I hate making the guys who have already waited the longest wait even longer. So I mean they're up. They're open to adjustments with this process. I just know they are. It's part of this is very new for the Bengals. I would like to see them do something where they, like the NFL Hall of Fame does, where you have like a modern era or like a throwback player kind of thing. That way guys like Lamar Parrish or, the Ken Rileys of the world don't have to keep waiting around. Maybe do a 2 for your fan vote, and then you have one for your throwback or modern era players or whatever you want to call it. The one time I give an actual serious answer.
Well, Jeff and Greg wasn't paying attention, and I just started doing sexual stuff with Chop.
I know.
I know. I don't need to be here.
What were you talking
I
about?
was paying attention. I was looking.
What were you
Greg,
talking
you've
about,
fallen
Tiger
asleep
Lily?
3 times
Hey,
in this show.
you guys
This
tell
is
me
like falling asleep.
you guys tell me I talk too much on the show anyway, so I was letting you talk.
Yeah, that's why I said so. That's why I'm quiet.
No.
Let people talk.
I thought Jeff was going to do some more rearranging of his fucking set there.
Yeah,
was trying-
we had that earlier too.
But Dale, if I was
Didn't
sleeping, why
mention
was I
it.
doing this if I
saw
was
it.
sleeping? I mean, come on, man.
It definitely saw Jeff rearrange.
Right.
Yeah, they got to fix some stuff.
There's no better time than mid-show to fix your whole fucking
Listen,
set.
listen.
Listen. I miss being on the show.
We didn't goof off at all. We went straight into serious talk. Greg got his Reds talk in, then we went to Ring of Honor, and then we got the cornerback talk in. So I'm like, oh my God, we haven't even fucked off yet. Fucked off. It's the fucked off time.
Right.
I wish I could get fucked off, by the way. Just a tip.
Bro.
Just a fucking tip.
Come on, man. The dust ain't even beginning to settle on your dick. The dust on my shit's like this thick.
I'm telling you, if you guys, I might just be like, hey, one of you guys want to go to the bathroom tomorrow at the Little Miami Brewery?
Mutual
Just
JO.
Yeah, let's fucking, hey, don't look at each other. No eye contact. Hands down.
Eye contact's the best, though, man. We can do eye contact. Watch this.
Can't do it.
Do it back, Dale.
So look away. I'm just going to look away.
Do it back.
Oh, well, you're not even over there. You're over here because the camera.
Do it back. Do it back.
Chop. I can't do it.
I think Jeff actually started. He turned.
I got
the camera
beautiful
off.
blue eyes. If I take these glasses off, look at them blues.
Well, Antoine, if we
You
win
might
the
be
Super
watching it, apparently.
Me and Chop, it depends. Okay. Are me and Chop making our trip to Vegas?
Yes.
Wait, I thought it was all of us. That's just you two.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we need it the most, is what I'm saying.
Well, it's called Dale and Chop's and Best Friends.
Yeah, but I'm just getting cut out of everything now. Jeez, what the hell?
No, you're in there, Jeff. You're part of the Best Friends.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
No, anybody can go, but I don't want to lump you in with what me and Chop are probably going to do because it's in Vegas.
You want to be in on that?
So trust me, for your marriage's sake, you don't want to hear what I'm about to say.
2 guys in a cup.
If we win the Super Bowl and me and Chop are already in Vegas, well, we're going to fuck hookers.
Yes, 100%, man. One time. No, I'm not. No. Okay.
You don't have your headphones in?
Nah, man, because my ears are sore because of goddamn those earrings, man.
Pages. You're just running everything.
I know.
We're not actually going to fuck hookers, Mrs. Chop.
I already fucked hooker. She already knows that I've done that before.
Well, we're not going to do it again. I've never done that the first time. I'm not going to for the first time do it if we win the Super Bowl. Oh God, I'm going. Let's all do this for real.
Yeah, we're gonna do it for real.
Yeah, we're definitely getting hookers because we do. Yep.
All right.
Because we do not get laid, me and Chop.
That's right. Go ahead, Dale. Say whatever you want, buddy. Look at these.
Yeah. Woo!
Yeah.
We're getting hookers.
Hell yeah, we're getting hookers. Oh.
Yeah.
Headphones don't work.
Don't hear you fucking idiot.
God dang it. I need thicker.
Yeah, we can storm the field, and then we're going to storm the hookers.
We're going to storm the shit out of them. I got 5 on it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'll never come out of the.
I was so excited to talk about corners.
Yes.
We're
smashing hookers in Vegas.
Hey, we're talking about corners, Santori. The hookers on the corner. Every corner in Vegas. Every corner in Vegas has a lady of the night.
Woo, woo.
We're going to get you laid too, Santori. Shh, don't tell Ashley.
Hey, I love our group chat. We're all smashing hookers.
Wait, what group chat?
It's perfect setup, man, to have the Super Bowl in Vegas.
Jeff gets so triggered when he hears the word group chat.
I feel left out.
I'm talking about all the people in this chat, this group of people in this group chat, saying that they're ready to smash some hookers.
That's right. Come on, Jeff. Let's smash some hookers.
No.
What?
No.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, man, anybody that's ever been with a hooker.
I was going to say, I think it's only you.
Huh. Well, then I'm the expert here. It's going to be okay. Greg, you're getting a hooker. I'm going to use a coupon, buddy. You'll get one free.
How does all of a sudden this turn into belly up to the bar?
Is it just a coupon at Reach Magazine?
Buy two, get one free, Greg. Me and Chop's going to buy one. You get one free.
BOGO.
Oh. All right, Santori. Who do you think makes the. How many corners do we keep, and who are they?
You typically keep 6 and activate 5. So if you're going with those 6,
We're smashing. Sorry. Continue. God damn it. I'm gonna rip a heater.
So Cam Taylor, Britt, Awuzie, Hilton are going to be your main 3. DJ Turner's your 4th. Sidney Jones may be a 5th. I'm not sure if he's going to make it or not. He's probably the favorite, but then you've got Alan George, whatever the hell his name is, floating around as an option. And DJ Ivey might be good. I mean, he does have a lot of experience at a high-level program. You never know. Just because a guy's a 7th-round pick doesn't mean he's going to get cut.
His arms are ridiculous.
They took him for a reason. So, and the Bengals have a tendency to not cut draft picks.
Does Lou know defensive backs as well?
I mean, he coached them for a while. That was his position group.
Look at J.C. Jackson. Wasn't he a 7th-round pick? I know before he got hurt. I know he's been hurt last year, but still.
I don't know.
We're talking about Lou, Greg. God damn, he didn't coach him. You know who did? Tiger Lily coached cornerbacks. So continue.
I did. And I got quite a few of them playing D1 ball right now. So there's that.
Yeah, suck his dick.
They got
hookers.
D's nuts.
So,
by the way, my name is DB Dale for douchebag Dale. Not.
I thought it was defensive back Dale.
Nope.
So if you keep 6 corners, you really limit yourself on safety flexibility, and they know they like to keep 5 safeties.
Yeah.
I think the easy 3 to point at are going to be Dax and Nick Scott, Jordan Battle. They love Michael Thomas, man. I mean, he's one of those glue locker room pieces and does really well in special teams. He's one of those guys that every time you read about culture in the locker room, his name comes up, and that shit's so important. I mean,
Can I float something real quick?
Sure.
You? So my thought is with the one big cut and Michael Thomas being a veteran, he might even have a say if he's cut, where they make a deal with him to cut him initially so they can keep 6 initially. Like, I think they did this last year even. And then knowing they're bringing him back and he's going to be active all season. Do you see them doing something like that again?
I could, because then you have to think about Tyson Anderson. I mean, they did draft him. They are high on him. He's still here for a reason. The athleticism's never been a question with him. So you start getting into 12 and 13 players when you take all those guys in consideration. 1 or 2 might be on the practice squad, maybe. But you also might have a situation where, and this seems to happen every year with every team, there's 1 or 2 guys that get cut, don't sign anywhere. They stay in the city because they know the moment someone gets hurt, they're going to get signed, but they're not necessarily practice squad eligible. It's almost like having an unofficial bench. It wouldn't surprise me if Michael Thomas ends up one of those guys. It's a great problem to have. You got too much talent and not enough spots. It's kind of what the Reds are going through with their lineup right now. That only happens when you have a front office that is 100% focused on acquiring talent. And this is what you get. So I think Tyson Anderson is going to – I know James Rapine was on Locked On yesterday saying he thinks he's going to make it and possibly fight for some playing time.
I think he makes it for his special teams value, the original reason he was drafted.
He could.
And then anything else is extra for me, like good-wise, you know.
Right. I agree. The thing that bothers me with the backfield, and this is why I said that I think Cam Taylor-Britt's going to struggle, because that was not just me trying to be an ass in the chat. There's a legitimate reason for it.
Do this to me. I love him. I love his mom. I love his dad, Daryl. I love
I don't think it's going to be his fault, if this is going to make sense. I think you've got a very, very, very young safety room, a very inexperienced safety room, that the way this defense operates, there's a lot of communication that needs to happen from the back end of that defense. And if they're not operating 100% fluidly, whatever you want to call it, it's going to make the corners look bad at times.
Some things are going to look like his fault that probably aren't.
Right, or there could be communication where he's told to do the wrong thing and it is a screw up. I just think there's going to be some communication issues, some lack of chemistry that puts him in a tough spot, especially for him being young as well. I think guys like Awuzie and Hilton are going to be able to kind of battle through that. But I think there might be some stuff that gets him in some trouble, especially because he's someone that likes to take risks. I mean, what happens, because you never really know when you're watching a game. Sometimes it takes a coach to come out and say it, or a couple days to really digest film. But he's someone that does like to undercut routes. What if he thinks he's in a cover 2 flat, undercuts a route, he's really in man, and it's single high safety, and down the sideline someone goes? Everyone and their mother is going to be going, he's young, he's inexperienced, why would he do that? You need to know where you're at. Well, if those guys would communicate properly, I mean, there's so much, because it's a very complex defense. I can see some of these young guys getting in trouble.
That was all very good talk. But so we got
Jesus
hookers
Christ.
on the first day, or just when we
Let
went?
me answer this.
Okay.
The entire time. My suitcase will not be unpacked when it starts.
He might bring home with him.
Yeah, well,
She's
I'll
flexible enough.
probably bring something home with me. Nothing a little penicillin won't fix, though. Jeff's back for the hookers. The whole time we're talking football, Jeff's gone. We say hookers, he comes back. So that's a subliminal message right there. See? Boom.
Yeah, it's a good thing about being a good team, and the bad thing a little bit about being a good team, because you're going to let go of some players too who are probably young and talented, and you're not going to be able to see out just how good they can be because you're trying to win now.
And
That's the thing. You're trying to balance it. You're trying to keep the guys here for the future without, hurting anything for the present.
and with this coaching staff too, whoever they do end up getting rid of, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, I trust that they're going to make a proper decision. And there's going to be a guy that they let go of that ends up having a good career.
Mhm,
It
yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean that was a mistake to let them go. You have to keep in mind the teams that win championships and teams that have successful systems have a proper blend of veterans and young players, which means at some point when you're loaded up, you're letting go of a good veteran or you're letting go of a promising young player. It's a balancing act, and you can't keep all of them. So at some point, it's going to be a right move for you to let someone go. Like, here's the deal. If we got to week 2 of preseason and DJ Ivey got cut, I don't think anyone would be like, oh, man, like, why the hell would they do that? I think everybody would kind of be like, yeah, maybe he's the odd man out. But then if he went on to start 3 or 4 years from now, like the one kid did for Cleveland, there was a corner that we cut, shit happens. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was the wrong move. It's not necessarily an indictment or a knock on that player. Sometimes you just have too much room, and it could be for finances or it could be for playing of the future. I mean, here's the deal. If I'm looking at my corner room, I'm not going to cut Awuzie. I'm not cutting Hilton. I'm not cutting Cam Taylor-Britt. I'm not cutting DJ Turner, which means I'm down to 3 or 4 guys to get cut.
Yeah.
And they're all either promising young guys that they drafted or a veteran. It's just the way it is. Sucks to suck, but that's a good problem to have.
And Eli Apple's still out there. So before we end the corner discussion, I'll go around the horn. I'll start with Iceman before he just disappears for 12th time. Do you think there's any chance? I mean, we have talked about all the depth here, but Eli Apple, maybe he got $4 million last year. I think if you sign him at this point, you're saying it's vet minimum.
Vet minimum, I never say never, but with all the guys that we have, I'd be kind of shocked. But I mean, we'd have to have injuries, I think, to get him back. But I mean, like I said, I never say never. Yeah, he's just getting vet minimum no matter where he goes right now, because I don't think he's signed with anybody.
Yeah. Greg,
To quote Justin Bieber, like Iceman said, never say never. So, but I'd have to say
that again.
I can't sing worth shit, but we all.
I've got video. We know.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
true.
baby.
By the way-
oh baby, that was Justin Bieber.
Yeah, but no. If I had to get like injuries can happen. We've seen corners get hurt. You know what? I'll go 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Greg 50-50 that he ends up being a Bengal because here's the deal.
Now, are you saying prior to week 1?
No, I'm saying at any point during the
okay? Because I would yeah. Then those odds do go up for me too.
Sucks to suck, but injuries happen. You know, the
Absolutely.
5 or 6 you pick are not going to be healthy the entire year.
I have not heard that, but
well, his attitude fits the culture, so that would be a good pair for them. You're the 6 that you pick.
The Stillers for the podcast listeners.
Yeah, the 6 you pick aren't going to be healthy the whole year. You're a whole room being healthy the entire year, being the frequently most used players on defense is impossible. So someone's going to get hurt. If it's an outside corner, you could almost bet your ass that Eli Apple would be back if he's available.
I can't listen to any of these motherfuckers.
Right.
I mean, especially if Sidney Jones doesn't pan out. I mean, he's not been the healthiest player in his career. We assume Awuzie is going to be healthy enough. You assume Cam Taylor-Britt's going to play the entire season. I mean, I've got 2 or 3 question marks in that room, realistically, that you can point at. So it would not surprise me if he's one of those guys, like I said earlier with Michael Thomas, that's just kind of hanging around, waiting for the opportunity once one of these guys inevitably can't go. It is what it is. It's necessary. It's not fun to talk about, but just because you pick 53 guys to make the team doesn't mean all 53 are playing. It doesn't mean that they're all going to stay healthy. They won't. Look at the Ravens. They get like 40 guys on IR every single year.
Yeah. And especially if one of these guys, let's say it's Alan George and it's Jalen Davis, they get cut and they both get claimed, and that's still keeping 6 guys. But let's say both of those get claimed, then an injury happens. Well, shit, one of your first calls is probably going to be to Eli Apple right away. But you don't have those guys that you really trust on your practice squad.
Well,
I mean, with Eli, everybody gets mad at the mouth. It's kind of like a politician on Twitter that won't shut the hell up. The production's fine. It is what it is. He's an average NFL corner. He's just got some emotional baggage, if you want to call it that, Twitter baggage that comes with him. But he's fine. It is what it is. If you take 2 corners and put their stats up next to each other, Eli and some of the top ones in the league, you'd be surprised how close they are. He's fine. The tape is fine. Yeah, did he get cooked on a couple go routes? Yeah, everybody does. Mike Hilton can't cover a go route from the slot to save his life. He got burnt several times last year. It happens. He's a fine corner. If he ends up being back, he's back. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he's not old. He knows the system. He's one of Lou's guys. He's been with Lou every stop, almost every way where Lou's been. And Lou's got the best out of him.
Yes.
There's a reason why he's following Lou. It works for him where he's at. You just got to keep his ass off Twitter.
Yeah, he did for the most part last year until the end of the season.
Yeah,
breaking news.
The worst time. Go ahead, Greg.
Breaking news. After barely being with the Saints for a couple of months, they just released Billy Price. So we were talking about backup center. Let's go get Billy Price back. Be our backup center, right?
Who let him on this show? We need to kick Greg out.
Didn't Billy just sign with them? I
know. Yeah. They just got rid of him. Non-football injury, it said.
Oh.
It means he probably
might be about done. This might be the end for him, to be honest.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it happens. The Bengals, I mean, in reality, though, I know you're joking, but they're definitely Trey Hill and then Ben Brown. It's going to be one of those guys.
No, it's going to be one of those deals, too. But no, Billy Price, like they said, non-football injury. Like I said, he just signed with the Saints. Wasn't it like a month or 2 ago he just signed? Or
I think it was just 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't seem like it was very long ago.
Yeah. I know. He like Zach Taylor gave him a game ball one time because he worked his butt off. It just didn't work out for him. I mean, just one of those deals. Like even if you work your butt off, it just doesn't work out sometimes, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever questioned Billy's character or work ethic. It was more a situation of, I think that was in the era where they were trying to fit too many square pegs and round holes. Billy did not fit the system. Billy's body type did not fit for center. I don't know how many times we have to go over the lunging and his technique and the fact that He had a rotation of offensive line coaches that didn't do him any good.
Right.
That was kind of just a perfect storm for a career that never really got to be properly taken care of. It's unfortunate for Billy, but it's kind of what he fell into.
I mean, they weren't even planning on drafting him. They wanted what Ragsnut?
Ragnow.
Yeah,
That's who they wanted, and they didn't have a very good backup plan.
Well, I just remember Joe Goodberry. I'm like, oh, maybe Joe Goodberry will say something positive about this, and he was very Santori. I know I talked to this about you. I think he was very, very, very honest what he thought about that pick. Right?
Yeah, it was a 4-letter word that started with an F.
Yep.
All caps on Twitter.
Yeah.
Chop,
Bengals draft Billy Price.
Do you have any thoughts on Eli Apple?
My thoughts on Eli Apple, same as you guys already said, that barring injury, I do not think that he's wearing the stripes this year. If someone gets injured, could he play? Hell yeah. He's probably the first. If they're going to look for somebody.
And if he's still out there, because that probably goes for a lot of teams, right? He's going to be an early call, I think, for a lot of teams if they hit some injuries.
I mean, to be honest, I would have been fine keeping Eli Apple instead of getting Sidney Jones. You know, Eli Apple played the system, and I'm same as Santori. I don't think he did a bad job. He got burned a couple times, but I think he did a good job for us. I wasn't on the Eli hate train.
I'm not super familiar with Marvell Tell. I think he went to USC. I think he was came in. A lot of people thought he was going to be a safety in the NFL. Like if I remember, like draft wise about him, he's decent, and I think he even played a little bit for the Jets or somebody that he initially stuck with, whether he was a late round pick or undrafted guy. I feel like he played a little bit with that team, and I want to say the Jets, but I could be wrong. And maybe there's something there, but I have no idea. We have Yusef Corker or whatever, from Kentucky, also at safety. So defensive back wise, we got some guys like that at the back end of the roster.
My expertise on Mr. Tell starts and stops with the fact that when I restart a franchise in Madden, he is always on that 75-man roster when it resets, and he's typically the first cut that I make. So sorry, that's
nothing personal, man.
No, it's just this is what it is. Along with him and Corker, there's the guys.
It's
I like
usually
that name. Corker's a good name, though.
Yusuf
Guy's
Corker.
got that going for him. Yusuf Corker.
Marvell Tell. I mean, that's
there you go.
rhymes.
Those are good names.
Yeah,
It ain't Kool-Aid McKinstry, but it's all right.
No.
Yeah,
We'll get him next year.
yeah. It's draft pick next year.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, we've gone a little over an hour now, so I know Chop's got to wash his balls.
Wash the tank.
That's usually when we decide when we have to end the show. It's based on Chop's ball washing.
I also got to catch up with Santori on my numbers of stools for the day.
But I will go around the horn and let you guys advertise your stuff, and then me and Chop will end it like we tend to do with just the two of us.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I.
Wrong way.
I went the wrong way.
Isn't that song about his son?
Maybe I am.
Maybe he is. I don't know.
Fair. I just
Won't you worry about your own sperm?
Yeah. That's my boy.
All right. I tell the people about the shows, what you got coming up.
Jeff, you got a show?
Yes, I got a show. It's at 5:30. Mike Petrago will be on. We'll be talking Ring of Honor. Neil from the Bearcat Bounce podcast will be on. We'll be talking Bearcat Big 12.
Neil! Felt like doing that. Sorry.
I guess that's it.
Greg,
Go
let's
ahead,
talk
Greg.
about your
All right, guys. Have a good show, brother.
No. With me, the way I'm going, I'm on like everybody's show. You might as well just call me Swing Luth or something. I mean, but yeah, Santori, I guess since you're with me right here, is it safe to say rally around the Natty? Come the season starts, we're going back to 2 days a week. I don't know if it's going to be Monday and Wednesday, but
Yeah, I actually.
All right, Greg. Good talk. Let Santori finish it.
I'm done.
2 days a week?
Possibly.
All right, so possibly 2 days a week, Greg.
Possibly 2 days a week.
Anything else?
No, I mean, like I say, just catch me on Bengals and Brews 3:30 rally as of right now Mondays, and we'll see what comes up. And whenever someone doesn't show up, wherever my services will needed, I'll be there.
Or stop by the parking lot at Little Miami Brewing tomorrow.
Stop by
when the doors
Friday.
are locked and Greg can't get in, he'll be sitting in the parking lot waiting for him to open.
I'll tell you
Greg
what.
is ready to service you.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. All right, so we will be at Little Miami Brewery tomorrow.
Yeah, we are.
We hope everyone else can join us at Little Miami Brewery starting at 4 o'clock. I think Ted plans on being there from 4 to about 8 or 9. So if you can make it, make it. We'll figure out our plans for Vegas, and we'll have some drinks, and we'll have a good time. And appreciate you all for tuning in. Love you all. Chop.
I love everybody too.